Hi all, I'm Jo, Memory Engagement with Hunter Killer. Welcome to my crime lab. I would like to introduce Jax. Jax is our community engagement specialist and will be posting all the links I mentioned today. Please feel free to say hi. We'd love to meet all of our members, new and seasoned, that come into our live today. So just shout out in the comments. Today, I will be introducing our current story, Class of 98. So if you're a new member or thinking about subscribing, stick around as I will be running through a short demo tonight and give you some insight on how Hunter Killer works. And I promise, no spoilers. So let's start with the basics. Hunter Killer is an immersive story where you need to track down a killer. Each month you'll receive a package. It looks like this. We have new boxes. How fabulous are these? Each month you'll receive a package like this. We call them episodes. There are 6 episodes in a storyline. And with each episode, you'll be working through clues and evidence and eliminating suspects, working towards an amazing finale and hopefully discover the killer. Do you have what it takes? As we get started on our box this evening, keep in mind the story is a much shorter and more condensed version of what you actually will be receiving every month and does not contain any spoilers for your story. It is totally spoiler-free. Yay! Inside the package, you'll see a Get Started booklet like this. It has a ton of resources in this book, including information on our fabulous community that you're already found, our amazing forum, as well as information on our recaps, which I'll talk about a little later, and our links to other products, our blog, our podcasts, and also some amazing gameplay info in it. So keep this by your side on your very first box. It was going to be like your new best friend. Okay. So I also highly recommend a really, really great notebook and a pen or pencil to take down those vital clues. You're going to be making a ton of notes. This is a 6-part story. There's a lot of notes to be made, lots of evidence to collect. So if you want to create your very own crime lab, just like mine, maybe you might want a murder board. We will be using the murder board quite a lot today. I want to show you how it integrates into our story and what a great resource it is for quick fixes and quick looking at clues. And it is amazing if you're working in a group because everybody gets to see everything. Okay, I'm going to go and say hi to everybody, see who is in today and see if there's any questions. Hi, Lacey. How are you today? Welcome to our Facebook Live. You love the game? We love the game too. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. That's our purpose. That's why we're here. Hi, Kevin. How are you? And Andre, how are you? So Lacey says that her chapter 3 is coming on Saturday and she can't wait. What a great weekend. If you've got a rainy weekend coming up like I do, then that is absolutely perfect. What a way to spend your weekend. Jill says it was not what I was hoping. Oh no. Jill, send me a PM. I would actually like to know why it's not what you thought it was, how we can help resolve your issues. So please do send me a PM and I will address that offline for you. Okay, don't give up. We'll find a solution. Hi, Jax. How are you? Thank you for posting the links. Hi, Dari. Welcome, as always. Hi, Richard. Is this a good method to teach me how to get away from murder? Well, we might find some devious characters in here today, so maybe it might be a good way of sort of sussing people out. So stick around. It might be worth it for you. What a great question. I love that. All right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to get started on our demo box. I'm just going to adjust my computer here a little so that you can actually see the full murder board because we'll be using this a lot today. So I've got my box, and the first thing I'm going to do in my box is I am going to grab my inventory bookmark, and it looks like this. Okay, so You have your inventory bookmark. It's on one side, it has information on the recaps and the password and the URL for the recaps. We will go over this a little bit later because we will be using the recaps once we finished our story today, our demo story. On the other side, I'm just going to cover this because this is the one from actually episode 1, so if you haven't seen it yet. So at the very top here, it tells you what episode, what storyline you're on. So this is class of 98. And what episode you're on. I know that comes up quite a lot and people ask me all the time, how do I know? It's on your bookmark. So also on your bookmark, I'm just going to quickly go like this, is all the inventory listed. I'm not going to show you because this is spoiler free. If you haven't got your box, I don't want you to know what's in it. All right, so I'm just going to grab the one for my demo box, which is not so pretty. And we're just going to check we have everything in our box today before we get started on our little journey. Hi, Robert. How are you today? Welcome. Andre, I want to join, but I don't want to start in the middle of an episode. Does it start every 6 weeks? No. Okay, so that's a really great question too. We would never start anybody right in the middle of a story ever. So what we do is everybody starts at episode 1. So you'll always get episode 1, a class of 98, Andre. And so what will happen is there'll be people playing at different levels, at different boxes, and that's absolutely fine. You know, there's people that have gone before you. So it's great because there's such a great community resource where people have already sort of asked the same questions, had the same theories. So you will always start on episode 1. So just sign on up and we'll make sure you get the right box, okay? Oh, Richard was asking for a friend whether this is going to help him find a murderer. So, okay, I believe you. I love that. Hi, Carla. We have to leave a note to ask our cleaner lady not to clean up our workspace. Oh, yeah, she must. I wonder what she thinks you're doing with the whole murder room thing. I'd love to know what her reaction is. Let us know. That's actually pretty cool. I'd hate to think what if I had a cleaning lady, what she would think. When can we start a new episode? Rita asks. And that's a really great question too. So Rita, right now you can actually expedite your episodes. So if you just finish your episode and you want more, you don't want to wait that whole month, you're really impatient, pop over into your account and select ship my next box. Or if you're not sure how all that works, or you just don't want to go into your own account, just contact customer support at sam@hunterkiller.com and an agent will be more than happy to work all that out for you and get that next box for you early. Okay, so you don't have to wait. So right now you can expedite up to episode 6, so the last box of class of 98. And very soon we will be announcing the next story. So be patient with us. We're working through a few things and we will have that for you soon. Okay. Lacey, Andre, you will get the boxes from the beginning no matter when you sign up. Thanks, Lacey. Yeah, that's totally right. Okay. All right. Hi, Rebecca. How are you? Rebecca is one of our product team. She's one of those people that writes your story. So you want to get a big kudos to our lovely Rebecca who makes this happen for you every month. All right. Oh, Kevin, how many people roughly are playing class of 98 currently? Wow. That is an amazing question. I don't think I can answer it. I don't even know if I can take a wild guess because I'm probably way off. I think it's thousands, but I don't know. Don't quote me on that. If you really want to know, I can see if I can find that actually for Fact Friday. So every Friday we do a fact on this page. So if you want to know that, maybe I can find that out for Fact Friday. How's that? Wow, talk about put me on the spot today. My cleaning lady would quit before she got to my murder corner. I just wonder if she would quit or she would never leave the house again, or maybe in a body bag. I think we won't go there. All right. So let's get started on the story. And this is actually a great interjection right here. I am wondering, would everybody like an actual Q&A session, a live Q&A? I mean, I know we do this Q&A and we do the demo box, and sometimes we do run over our half an hour. And I'm just wondering if you would like an actual just Q&A where I would sit with you and answer any questions that you came up in the thread. I would be happy to do that. So if you want an individual Q&A without the demo box, just write Q&A in the comments and I will tally that up at the end and see if there's something that we can work out with our team and get that happening for you. Okay? All right, let's start with the box. Okay, so I'm going to take my inventory card and I'm going to check I have everything in my box. So my little notebook that everybody gets in their first box is not on my inventory card, so I'm just going to pull that out. Grab all the items. All right, let's lose the box a minute. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, there's some really good stuff in here. A PI letter. Yep, I have that. It's from Gray Investigations, and it's from Michelle Gray, Private Investigator, Gray Investigations, LLC. Oh, excited to read that. Olivia's statement and photograph. Yep, we have that. Jonathan's statement and photograph. We have that here. A hardware receipt. Yeah, we have that. A map. Yeah, I have that. And last one is Olivia's journal page. Oh, there's one more thing hiding in my box. Oh, I have an evidence bag, but I don't have a statement. Are we meant to open evidence bags? Yeah, why not? Have a look. Okay, oh, so it's a jewelry box. Give it a little look. Has a B on it. I wonder if that is significant. Oh, so it's a ring box, and inside the ring box is a piece of paper, which I'm trying to dig out. Oh, this is exciting. Let's have a look. What is this? Is this what we're looking for? Olivia's journal page? Oh, yes, it looks like it. Okay, so it looks like we have everything. So there's actually something that you may need to know is if something's not apparent in your box right away, maybe dig a little deeper and just see if it's hiding in something, because, you know, evidence is evidence and it will be in an evidence bag. All right, so let's start with reading the Private Investigator's letter. Usually this is the great place to start. So this is sort of the jumping off point of your story. This is how you're going to find out who your victim is, who your suspects are, and basically the premise of the story. So always read your PI letter first and then start working out from there with the other pieces of evidence that you may have in your box. Just check in quickly before we get started. Oh, quite a few people are saying the Q&A, so that's good. Okay, so, you know, we're going to make that happen for you, for sure. Jack says, don't throw anything out away, and that is true. Don't throw anything away. You never know when you may need it. You are going to reference your old boxes again, so if you're on box 5, you may need to go back to box 1, so don't throw anything away. Don't even throw packaging away. So, Jacqueline says, photographs. I'm not sure what you're referencing. Would you like to, you know, if you just want to post it and I'll happily answer that question for you. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to read this letter from Michelle Gray and then we're going to see how everything works. And as you see, I actually took copies of everything and put them on my murder board, and we'll work from the murder board from this point on. Are you ready? Hello. I understand you're looking to help with some investigations I'm undertaking. I appreciate the enthusiasm, but I hope you don't mind if I verify your abilities for myself. I handle a lot of sensitive material, and I need to be sure that the evidence I entrust to you is in capable hands. So before I ask you for your help on active cases, I'd like to give you a trial run with a case I recently solved. The case involves the death of Christopher Hammond, a professional exterminator. He died around 7:30 on the 1st of November after being exposed to a chemical called strychnine, commonly used as rat poison. Initially ruled as an accident, Christopher's cousin and business partner, Benjamin Lingdon, reached out to me. He believes Christopher was murdered. After some initial investigating, I narrowed down the suspects to Christopher's wife, Olivia Hammond, who she is, and Christopher's brother, Jonathan Hammond. The documents I've included are to help you identify the killer. You've got statements from both suspects, a receipt I found in Jonathan's car, and a page from Olivia's journal. The page number on the journal excerpt is wrong. It's actually the 6th page in the book. That seems a little bizarre. I've also thrown in a sketch I made of the area during my initial investigation. What you're looking for are means, motive, and opportunity. See who has access to the murder tool, who has a reason to want Christopher dead, and who has access to the victim around the time of the death. You get all three, and you've got your perp. Read everything with care, and don't take anything as truth without thinking about it long and hard. Good luck, Michelle Gray, private investigator, Gray Investigations. Wow. Okay, so we are looking for means, motive, and opportunity. And you'll be looking for the same when you would start your journey on Hunted Killer. So always keep these three things in mind as you start working through your boxes. So what you're going to do is you are looking to either to eliminate people based on means, motives, and opportunity. So if they don't have means, motive, and opportunity, they're eliminatable. If they do, then they're still a suspect. Okay, so here's our victim and here's our two suspects. So let's go ahead and read their statements first. And grab my file folder. I'm going to start with Olivia, the widow. All right. I just can't believe he's gone. You always think you're going to have more time, you know? Christopher and I had our differences, but no more than any other couple. Our home was a happy one. Now it's cold and lonely without him. The worst part is I wasn't even there at the end. I had to work late that night. I came home to find him lying on the floor. I tried to wake him up, but he wouldn't move. The doctors told me he died from ingesting some of the chemicals he used for work. Christopher could be a little careless, but never like this. I don't know what I'm going to do without him. Wow, so she seems really upset and devastated. You know, she's lost her husband, which is, you know, plausible. Of course she is. At this point, reading this, you know, it looks like she had a happy home and, you know, she loved her husband to death. So I would say she actually has no means, no motive, and no opportunity at this time. She also does mention that the fact that she was at work at the time of the death, which basically does not give her opportunity. Let's read his brother's statement. So our good old Jonathan here. It says, yeah, Chris and I didn't like each other. So what? Doesn't mean I killed my brother. I did stop by his place briefly that day, but it was just a quick conversation. Nothing else. I don't really want to talk about it, but fine. Chris and Ben's business is doing well. Dad and Chris both knew I was struggling. So I was thinking that when Dad passed, they'd treat me like family and use part of Dad's estate to help me out. They didn't. Dad wanted to be fair, as if giving the sibling who was doing just fine as much as the one who needs it is not fair. Am I pissed? Absolutely. But I didn't kill him. He's still family. Wow, that's quite the statement and quite incriminating. So at this point, it looks like we may have a motive, and the motive is money, which is one of the biggest motives for most murders. And his motive is the fact that he wanted more of the inheritance. He thought he should get a lion's share because he wasn't doing so well financially, where his brother had a very successful business. So definitely he has a motive. Does he have opportunity? He says he went by the house that day. Not looking so good for our Jonathan, is it? Because he could have opportunity based on the time of the day that he went over there. And right now, it doesn't look like he has any means. So we're going to keep going with the investigation. At this point, if you think you know who did it, put it in the comments. So if you think it's the grieving widow or you think it's the brother, let me know. Be interesting to see how many of you are right near the end. Okay, let's move on to a new piece of evidence, and we're going to move on, I think, to the receipt that was found in Jonathan's car. Okay, so let's take a look together. Are you ready? So it's from Dixon's Hardware. It's on the same day as the murder, so the 1st of November, and it's at 19:27, which is 7:27 in the evening. Now, keep in mind that Christopher was murdered at 19:30, okay? So what did he purchase on this day? Let's have a look. He purchased some quick dry silicone caulk. Oh, this doesn't look good. Barman's Bane's rat poison. Whoa. And also a flex carbon steel putty knife. Okay, this is not looking good for Jonathan because this suddenly gives him a means. He bought rat poison and his brother died of strychnine, which is found in rat poison. So at this point, we actually do have a means, motive, and opportunity. I mean, we can't prove some of them, but it's not looking so good for the brother. But we still have some more evidence, and Michelle Gray told us, to keep working through all the evidence. You don't just stop when you think you've got something. You have to go through everything. All right. So let's move on to the jewelry box and what was in the jewelry box. So I'm going to show you the jewelry box. There's a ring in there, and I'm going to show you the diary page. Just have a little read. And I'm assuming this is her wedding ring from her husband. So it says page 2. Now remember, Michelle Gray told us this is actually page 6, which was ripped out. Why? Why was it ripped out, and why is it page 6 but says page 2? Let's read it and find out. Christopher and I had another fight today. It's almost as if he doesn't care about me anymore. Everything's about his business. The second he walks through the door, he goes straight down to his basement office to recheck supplies and review the company's finances. He has no time for anything or anyone else. I'm so grateful that I have Benny to talk to. He shares all the same stresses that Christopher does, but Benny stays positive. He's always around to talk and reassure me when I need it. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have someone like him around. Okay, so this is really interesting. Are you seeing what's going on here? I mean, her statement to the police says that she's the grieving widow. She loved her husband. They had a really happy home. Everything was going great, and she's devastated. This tells us a totally different story. This is telling us that they're fighting all the time. They have no time for each other. She's turned to his business partner and cousin for support, Ben. Wow. And why is this in a jewelry box? Now, I'm going to show you this because right at the very bottom, there is some really interesting text which actually makes no sense whatsoever. You see that? So I am thinking here that she has written a code that she doesn't want anybody else to know. So she's written something that's just for her. So I think this is a cipher. So what we're going to do is we're going to decode this cipher and see what she has to say. So looking at this, it is alphabetical. So I'm thinking it's a shift cipher. A shift cipher is one of the most basic ciphers where to code something, you shift it a number of spaces towards the Z, and then to decode it, you shift it the same amount back towards the A. Okay, so we have some clues here. We know this is page 6, and we know it was torn out, and she's put page 2. What is the betting that this 2 is her way of remembering what the code is? Should we give it a go and see if we're right? All right, I'm going to hold this up, and you're going to help me do it. So if you're super fast, you might be able to get it before I've done the first 4 letters. So I'm going to actually shift the first 4 letters here and just show you how this works. So what we're going to do is we're going to shift these back towards the A. And we're going to shift it 2 spaces because she's written page 2, and I think that's probably the clue. Usually when people write ciphers, they hide their clue within the document. So, let's see if our theory's right. See if my theory's right. So you want to do this with me. So we are going to go with the U, and we're going to shift it 2 spaces back towards the A. So if we shift it 2, it's not so hard because, you know, it's only 2 spaces. It becomes S. So the U is an S. The Q becomes an O. We have 2 Qs, so it's OO. There's no trick there if it's the same letter. And then the P becomes an N. Okay, so the first word we have is soon. All right, so if we went ahead and did all the rest, I'm not going to do it right here, right now, because I know that would be super boring for you. So I did do it, and I'm going to show you what it says. Are you ready? This is going to make a lot of sense. Soon, I will be Mrs. Lingdon. OMG. So, our grieving widow, not so grieving, is she? So she has a plan here. She actually wants to marry the cousin and business partner of her husband. She has a ring. She's written a code. So I'm beginning to think that she is not everything that we thought she was. At this point, do you know now who's the murderer? If you think you've changed your mind, write it down. Okay, so does she have means? We don't know yet. Does she have a motive? She does now. She has a big motive. She wants to marry someone else. And not only someone else, an actual relative of her husband. Does she have opportunity? Not yet. We have one more piece of evidence to go. I think this is going to be the clincher of our case. Are you ready? Okay, so here we go. So we have this lovely drawing here. So it is a drawing of the distance between the hardware store and the victim's home. So there's 2 here. So path 1 is 14 minutes and path 2 is 11 minutes. So the shortest path is 11 minutes. Now we know that rat poison was found in Jonathan's car. And so we're thinking that that may have been used as the murder. So we have to do a little sort of deeper thought here. We know that the victim died at 17:30. I did a little research on rat poison and strychnine to find out how long it takes to kill an average man, an average normal sized man. And it takes between 10 and 15 minutes to kill. Okay, so that means that Christopher must have ingested it between basically 7:15 and 7:20 at night. Okay, we know that Jonathan left the hardware store at around 17:27. We know that because the time and the date is stamped on the receipt right here. So we're going to do a bit of math. We're going to take 17:27 and we're going to add 11 minutes. So 7:27 plus 11 is 7:38. I'm doing this off the top of my head, so I hope I'm getting it right. So 7:38. Okay, so we know it takes 10 to 15 minutes. So let's say 10 minutes. So 7:38, 7:48, time to get it into something to, you know, for him to ingest. We're looking at almost 8 o'clock. It's way too late for the time of death. I don't know if Jonathan had an opportunity to kill him. The timing doesn't work out. Let's go back to our grieving widow. So, did she have means? Possibly. Her husband's an exterminator who works from his own home. She could have gone down into that basement at any time and slipped something into a drink of her husband at any point in that day for him to ingest. She didn't have to be home. She just had to have been able to do it. Means. Motive. Of course she had motive. She wanted to marry Ben. She definitely had motive. Opportunity. Yes, because she was home. She went to work. She said she worked late, but she didn't account for any other point in time in her day. We don't actually even know if she was working late. We have no evidence to support that. So she really does not have an alibi. So she has means, motive, and opportunity. Who do you think killed our wonderful Christopher? The grieving widow or the money-hungry brother? Let's find out. We're going to go to the recaps. So this is how you find out if you are right. So each month you will eliminate a person. So we are going to eliminate the person we think did not do it. And I think the person that did not do it is Jonathan. What do you think? Let's have a look. Okay, so we're going to go over the recaps. Let me show you how that works, and then I'll answer any more questions that are in the thread. Okay, so I'm just going to go over to the recaps page, and that was on your bookmark, remember? I showed you that at the very beginning. Here it is. So it says episode recap information, there's your URL, and there is your passcode to get into the recaps. So I'm going to do it on my phone quickly here. All right, so this is what the recap's like when I go over to that URL. It says, welcome to the Hunter Killer episode recaps. And then if you scroll down a little bit, there is a little bit of information on how to use. Please do take the few seconds it takes to read this. It's really great information and really important. So I'd like you to take the time to read it. Don't skip it. It's there for a reason. And then what you're going to do is scroll down a little further and you're going to come to your story. So Class of 98, and you're going to select episode 1. Each episode has a different password, so you can't go and start sneaking around in any other episode before you've got it, okay? So 1, you're not going to accidentally pick something and spoil it for yourself, and 2, you can't go in and try and find out what happened. So yeah, we're smart. All right, so I'm going to go into my story, which is the demo box, and I'm going to enter my passcode. And this is what I get. And it says, welcome to Class of 98. And it tells me that I have to eliminate 1 suspect. So the person I think does not have means, motive, and opportunity. Are you ready? So I have 2 pictures. Who am I picking? I am going to pick Jonathan. And it says, I am correct. And then what it will do is it will give you a little bit of information here on why you are right. So it just tells me that although there was money problems, that shows motive, the hardware receipt gives means, but the opportunity wasn't there because the timing is totally off. So we actually know who murdered him because I only have 2 suspects. You're going to have a lot more, so you're not going to know for a while. But so I only have 2, so I actually know now that my killer is the grieving widow. So once I go back in, sorry, the light gets a bit funny here. As you see, he's got a big red cross through his face. He is not the killer. So our process of elimination, this is my killer. So what actually happens if I actually press it? This is what I get. It actually tells me that I am incorrect. The suspect cannot be eliminated at this time. You must wait 3 seconds. Yay. We did it. So we do now know that our grieving widow was the murderer. Now in your recaps, you also have some hints and tips in there. So what it will have is a hint system and then a reveal. That's just to help you along the way. So if you get stuck and you have questions or you just don't know what to do, pop in there and just use the hints and it will help you get through your box if you need it. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up. So before I wrap this up, I'm going to answer any questions and I will go over organization really quickly for you too. All right. Okay, she says, you show some, Jacqueline says, you show some photos with the police report. Were we supposed to get those? They are not on my inventory list. I'm on episode 1 and am I in the wrong place? Okay, no, you're not in the wrong place. No, you were not meant to get them in episode 1. Those actually come in episode 2. So don't fear, you are going to get photographs. You just haven't got yours yet. Just remember, this is a really, really condensed version. So I got a lot more information up front in my box, more than you would generally get. Okay, so do not fear, you're not missing anything. Let's have a little look. Surprise twist, it's global warming. Thanks, Eric. And you're loving this so far. I'm so glad that you're loving it. We're so happy to have you. Let's see if there's any other questions. No, I think that's all the questions we have. Just in case you have popped in at the end here and you're wondering what this is all about, this is a demo version, so don't worry, there's no spoilers here. I know that's really important to you all. Okay, so let's just talk quickly about how to organize before I head off here for the rest of my Wednesday and your Wednesday evening. So there's a few ways to organize because you are going to end up with 6 boxes. You can do it the traditional way. You can have file folders and accordion files and sort of that kind of thing. You sort of just flip through and slip all your pages in. We have a lot of people that use online resources, online murder boards and other kinds of apps like Calculus, OneNote, Padlet. Check them out. There's some really, really great ones. You can upload your information to it too, so you have everything on the go. You don't actually have to take your box with you. And the final version, of course, is the murder board. If you found the murder board really interactive today, it might be worth considering getting your own murder board and having a more visual experience. So let us know what you decide and how you organize. I am going to love you and leave you for the rest of the evening. Oh, I have one more question. When are you getting your own talk show, Jo? Oh, probably never. So I am not polished enough for a talk show. So I will look into that Q&A for everybody because I know that was a big thing that we talked about today, and I hope you're following our teaser post. There is something new and exciting coming out very soon from the makers of Hunter Killer. It is not a Hunter Killer story. It's not an Empty Faces story. It is something brand new. I am so excited. Stay tuned for all those teasers. Keep following us. All will be revealed, I promise, very, very soon. Okay, on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. I want to thank you all for joining me tonight, and I'll see you same time, same place next week. Take care.